I know we got 4 games left, which includes this one, but the gap between first and second, it started at 4 points today. Now it's about 50 points. Vico and Flixie and their consistency is insane. And what Levin said, you're almost counting on them going down early in order for that gap to kind of lessen up. And I'm not sure that's going to be the case. So hopefully a little bit more control over their game. Eliminations, we know 160 is just a 10 elimination win. You can close the gap, but it just relies on you taking a little bit more risk in your game.
A little bit more risk, but high risk has a high reward. So we'll see if that saying will live true to its name. Clown and Axe Force, although there's only one team contesting them now, later on they have a bunch of duos that end up rotating through Pleasant Piazza. And it looks like this time around, although they don't have another duo contesting them for a triple contestation, it does look like Haijo and Kaido are going to win the better end of this drop spot and get that slurp truck.
It almost looks like they just switched sides completely, because this is where Haijo and Kaido were landing yesterday. Phantom and QNDX were going for the easy slurp truck, but they were at a huge loot disadvantage when actually fighting it out if they didn't get the shots they need, but that's not going to be the case here. A purple gatekeeper, 2 big pots, nitro splashes. I don't know what QNDX and Phantom have on the other side, but they better be ready for this.
Yeah, it's not looking good for
my.
QNDX here, especially if Haijo's able to connect one more shot. Now the upper hand is for Haijo and Kaido. Phantom might be put into a little bit of panic here as he's been completely cracked in the 2v1. He's just trying to survive.
Even trying to pre-throw some EMPs through the window. He might even have one left, but he gets caught off guard before he can get it out. QNDX and Phantom have dropped. Haijo and Kaido now get a chance to move up that leaderboard.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, all the games that either QNDX and Phantom or even Haijo and Kaido ended up coming out on top off spawn, they've gotten pretty good placements. I mean, Kaido Haijo, 11th, 9th, 1st place. QNDX Phantom, 13th, 8th, 1st. They've done a good job of getting those pop-off matches as we take a little look at the replay from Akira and Easy. Once again, potentially taking out Cammy and Seti. There it is,
wow.
The cleanup.
I feel like this is something I don't think anybody would have expected ever in the history of EUF and CS. And Levin was talking about the rotation away from their POI. It doesn't look like Akira and Easy are going to let that one go, but in comes Chap, in comes Teeny. They hear fights across the map, almost like a bloodhound when you take them on a hunt. They could just smell the weakness in the lobby, and they're just attacking at every single turn that they can, but there's so many more teams moving up in the distance. Chap takes the brunt of that third party. Teeny's being forced back. They're biting off just a little bit more than they could chew in this situation. Have to figure out a way to reunite.
Extra mats being used here to cover that protection, as now Chap might get a little time to breathe. Issue is, so many duos are in the area. Are you ever going to be safe?
What?
In this situation?
Why is there so many duos in this area right now? I'm trying to count.
3, 4, 5. At least 4 or 5 duos.
Like, man, and then some of them got eliminated, like 6, 7 at one point or another, just in this small mini map, not even in the overall position of the South, because we know there's even more numbers there. As Chap and Teeny have found a way to breathe. They can now just kind of think, formulate the strategy, wait for those duos to kind of disengage on out, and that's already happening. The 2 that were directly on their location have disengaged elsewhere.
Chapatini, you can see, already tied for the most victory royales in Major 3 finals across all regions. That is impressive by itself, but if they're able to finish off now from 3rd place to the top end of the leaderboard, it could be huge. Vico and Flixie are leading the pack by quite a bit, though, but one early game going down is all it takes. As Swizzy and Vanyak, they're on the southern side of the map as well, but they're a lot more calm here, Jacob. They don't have 7 duos surrounding them.
Reason and Vidil might have a couple of duos surrounding them. This is a fight that I've seen more than once. They already get the knock and the elimination on the Cantry. Cryfalls instantly disengaging on out with the crash pad. Reason and Video wasting no time, even looking for the chase. They know They got what they wanted. The zone is moving in their favor, so they could take their time because this is a lot of open land in this area outside of Standy Steps, of course. So as soon as he continues to move towards the south, if he does, they're going to see him hopping around, even if he uses the nitro rings.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful here. As Reason and Vidil have found their prey. Will they be able to land on it, though? Cryfalls has heard the danger. Double box comes through. And now the attempt to escape. I don't think he'll be successful, though. Crack from Reason. Vidil taking shots from the opposing end. Just one more needs to connect. And they can pick up their second elimination.
Gotta be careful, though. Another team is rotated in.
Oh,
Vidil
no
just
way.
goes down. He just got bumped away with the nitro. Chapantini, out of all the duos to come in and try to third party this is their way of coming back into this tournament to take that first place. Another one is down, but now Reason's left by himself. And I'm not sure Chapantini have let their position be known just yet.
Did they even see Vidil go down? They must have, right? 100%. Chapantini saw Vidil go down. Reason left as a solo, and they're still choosing to disengage here.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting decision, but maybe they just don't know how long he's been down. They don't know how long a revive has been had. A lot of questions here, but you can't bet against Chapantini because maybe they even see it's Vidil and Reason, and they're like, nah, they might be a little bit too good for an early game fight. This is too big of a risk. Let's just go hop around the team. Everybody kind of knows the drop spots, who's claiming what spot and where. So that might be a little bit part of their game plan, picking and choosing their battles. I was saying that yesterday, and I think that could be a great example of it here again today.
Definitely could be. As another location of the map that has an incredible amount of duos. By the Underworld, even closer to Pleasant Piazza, we can see a lot of the duos that originally land there are here, like Clown and Axe Force. Taking a look at the more chilly side of the map, CZB Nathan, Mariah Kaid. Even another duo close by.
Yeah, one disengaged on out, but CZB and Nathan are staying there. And it is going to be worthwhile. He threads the needle, I do believe, with the DMR. Maybe even the hand cannon, just cracking the shields just a little bit, forcing them to expend a little bit more of the resources in which they otherwise wouldn't have. And so if CZB and Nathan choose to follow this one, they know they have a little bit of advantage, but I don't think that's going to be the case. It's a zone that favors them just a little bit, and I feel like they need to take advantage of that.
We talked about Flix C and Vico. Due to having Oncon Reckless, a lot of duos were kind of trying to rotate by the POI to see if they could find damage from some other players in the area, but this time around I don't think there's been as many rotations through the POI, forcing Vico and Flixie to kind of have to go to the surrounding areas to try and find some tags. This is a great opportunity, though.
And it's a great opportunity for both of those duos, Mariah, Cade, Monier, Lunex. They didn't take each other down off spawn, so they both got kind of equal chance. I say that way because they did kind of split loot pathing, so they're not going to be as looted up as they should be. And in the feed, I did see Pixie get taken down. My biggest assumption here is Yanis was probably in the Surge Tower, getting Surge, Pixie looting around on the low ground. He probably got picked off by himself.
Shots being connected by Yanis, though. These are crucial. Without having a duo partner, you have to be landing your shots. This is where the chaos unfolded in the southern side of the map. Dexy even gonna take out Cheeps in the feed. Not sure if he was doing his homework.
I think for a second I'm like, the cactuses aren't there, Yanis. You can't drop down and get him, but I think he knows that. Just trying to hide his position just a little bit.
He knows that.
And you saw in the distance, Cool and Voltiax, they were the ones who actually took down Pixie, and I could see how they did it. They're over towards Brawler's Battleground. Like I said, a lot of teams leave one duo down below to stagger themselves, loot up. A lot of that brick gets expended, so they have to refarm it.
Looks like I might have spoke too soon regarding the Reckless Railway rotations, as Mariah and Kai are going to be the duo that decided to walk on through. Vico and Flixie trying to capitalize on this. Mariah has been fully cracked, no shields currently. Vico knows this, which is why he's hunting him down.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knows it's Mariah and Cade. Remember, I was talking about the earlier situation, splitting loot, since both of those teams were alive in such a small, close proximity. I feel like if he knew that, that would be an opportunity for them to try to get aggressive. But it's not going to be the case. They're just going to continue to rotate around. You notice there's no Surge Tower over towards Reckless. As Kudenberg just gets that elimination on Philip Monk right there. but there's no surge tower there, unlike yesterday. So even though teams already know Vico and Flixie are going to stay around Reckless Reels, they don't know exactly where they're at because of the lack of the surge tower.
Genio, he's lost his duo partner, Skavi. We saw the kind of issues they have. I wouldn't say they were issues, but the aggression that was played out towards them in the mid game when they had their surge towers built up. Now something has gone wrong. Skavi went down, and he's going to be forced to potentially find a reboot here. There are a couple duos in the area, though, so it might be worth it to tank a little bit of extra storm to safely get his duo back in the game.
Yeah, since I did see bandages there, I know there's a couple fire pits that can be used around this location of Grim Gates. So I wouldn't necessarily be worried about the HP. It is very, very early in the game on top of that. As we tune back into Vico and Flixie, I wonder what happened here. 0 eliminations to 2. No Marine and Cade in sight. I got to imagine they probably traveled back. Got a couple of those early shots. Just took the full-on fight. 526 points. And this is what every team below them needs to watch out for. It's not just their consistency to make it to endgame. It's the ability to get eliminations throughout the course of all 6 games today, which means they're getting 6 points, 6 points, 6 points before placement points even come in, Takada.
You love to see, right? Especially with the buff of those placement points. Quick replay of how Marine ended up getting eliminated to Vico here. Nice little quick cleanup in and out of the box. Even picking up another one. Vico.
Okay,
that your duo partner.
That cone was not. That cone, I give him credit for that cone. I for some reason thought it was the other player's cone, but I saw it went from wood wall, wood stair, wood cone. He coned himself, dodged the shot, dodged the nitro blast. That was actually a good fight if you actually break it down in slow motion.
I mean, did a great job there, not only connecting his shots, but keeping himself safe for Flixie to come back and assist. Nebs Kiduo, another duo fighting their spot for the global championship, but with Nebs going down, there's another situation similar to what Genio was in. Issue is now there's a lot more duos in the area, so it's no word to be for a safe reboot.
Nah, he's gonna have to wait. He already knows here he has to start looking for more heals, because if he's going to get that reboot back, it's probably going to be in Grim Gates or one of these close reboot vans, which means they know they're going to stay a lot in the zone, getting ticked down to very little HP. So med kits, floppers, small fries, anything is going to be needed. Another side of the map that's going to be busy, forced to rotate here in a few seconds is Chap, just trying to take a mini charge, bumps into the wall and just say, you know what, never mind. Never mind. There's too many teams around this location, even more rotating in. It's not a situation I would just want to fight all out in.
Not anymore, for sure. You can see Kaido and Haijo there on the hill looking to see kind of what's going on. What party were they not invited to this time? For Chapantini, though, they've already gotten elimination. They've done a decent amount of damage, and being in 3rd place right now, they don't want to put themselves at risk, especially so early into the match.
You just kind of hear all the crash pads around them. And that is going to be the only team that is still kind of in this position, back of zone. They're probably looking over at Chapantini, say, hey, when is this duo going to rotate? I don't know if they heard Pablo up there, but he's a solo. This is going to be a tricky situation, but I think they're just trying to clear the space. Not necessarily to go after Pablo at all, but you can kind of see what they're aiming up. Crash pad. They don't want to bump into any roofs, kind of lessen it. But right now, I think they just saw him. They saw him at the tail end. They're breaking through those walls. Pablo's scrambling around, giving away his location, his audio. And Chapantini, if they know he's a solo and spot him out, they're going to continue pushing forward. But more teams are coming from outside of the zone, making it more and more of a risky situation.
You asked if they knew. I think they do. At least they do now for sure, but with another 2 duos rotating on the edge of Storm, Pablo shortly behind them. Walks and Ping are going to be taking some back and forths, but as their ultimate goal is to get back in zone, I don't think they're going to be continuing to take a lot of shots. But Chapantini are going to capitalize on all these duos rotating in from Storm to kind of box up on the edge and potentially look back for some shots.
It's interesting to see like the rotation and think about how it kind of happened. Ping and Walks, they land at the underworld. They probably saw it was going south. They rotated all the way down towards the west on the most part and found themselves a slower side of the zone. And they do have access to Rift Island. That's not too far away if they want to move in, grab one of those rifts for later on in the game. They just kind of got stopped. They got spotted outside of zone. Not only that team that's kind of on that line of the zone with them, now Swizzy and Vanya have a good line of sight.
A southern pull. And it's going to be Swizzy and Vanya on top of Malibuca Merstach's POI of the day. How long will they hold off here, though? Rift Island being close by. It's almost a perfect location on Rift Island to take shots at all these players in the south.
Swizzy and Vanya, they're in a situation here where 9 out of the current top 10 teams, at least one player, it would be their first FNCS title. But then Swizzy and Vanya here at the top of the leaderboard said, nah, no new titles for everyone. I need one to match my old one. I want this Axe of Champions to last just a little bit longer. I think we might have a revive train going down here.
Yeah, they're not going to let that one slide. Hopefully Nebs and Kiddo have enough time to make it back in. I mean, just 6 HP. The bandages have been found in the last moment. Is there time, though? 1 HP? No, not enough for Nebs. Kiddo is going to be forced right back. The good news is they do have bandages when Kiddo ends up picking up Nebs, but are those bandages going to be enough for the both of them? Is Kiddo even going to have time to pop his bandages, or is he going to go down as well?
And then they have to worry about Storm Surge so far out of zone.
Gone down.
And they need to keep themselves healthy enough to where when they do go down like this, Storm Surge pops, they have enough to continue going forward. But I think you can hear the plan. You see it. Storm Surge, the lack of heals. Kiddo and Nebs make the call. I'm going to have to do this one as a solo.
Will he be able to is the big question. As zone has pulled to the north side.
Oh, no.
Which is going to favor Nebs, but at the same time, 197 below. Not even close to the zone. You see a duo. And this might just be Nebs' opportunity.
Yeah, it's his only chance here. His only chance. And he has to hope somebody has a med kit. Oh. Nice knock on the Trulex. Storm Surge even turns off. But no med kits. No med kits yet for Nebs. And he's using his last bandage. He still has the crash pad. He still has the Flowberry Fizz. And he's done what he's needed to do. He's got the Storm Surge. Just hopefully with a 2-tick now, he can make it in the zone. He finds a banana. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. How many more fruits and vegetables can he find? Come on, Nebs. You can do it. No, you can't. Almost just mere inches away.
The Flowberry Fizz effect ran out as he popped the bananas and hit the Nitro ring. So close, but so far. At least he took down an elimination with him. Another 6 points will be added from that.
At least it's something. At least he doesn't leave this game empty-handed. Because once you have those 0-point games, you start to think, like, what's going wrong? And sometimes it might not even be you as a team. It might be the zone. It might be other players. So you start to switch things up. As Yanis spotted, I don't see Pixie anywhere, not even on the minimap, the additional color arrow. So Yanis still doing this one by himself as well. 83 below the damage threshold for Swizzy and Vanya. They instantly take that rip because they don't want to fight this far out of zone, especially since you look, there's only that one trail up the left. Everybody else is going to have to climb straight up that mountain, expending builds and resources.
Great rotate into zone from Swizzy Vanya, though. Now they can potentially take some shots onto Sky and Scroll. They are 117 below, but they're elevated enough to have a lot of angles on their opponents. Shakeoff's gonna get tagged. Vanya gonna get cracked alongside him, though. Now only 45 below as shots continue to be connected.
Hey, but they're a persistent team. And I feel like they know how to get out of these tough situations, but they're running out of resources quick to try to out-heal this zone. And a good portion of those teams are on that mountain. Everybody else down below. Thunderburst. They do have a little bit of a DMR. And they do see some teams towards the outside, but they're still getting ticked down. They're not finding and capitalizing on any opportunity to deal with Storm Surge.
The only other duo in their surrounding area that's getting tagged, I believe, is the duo directly on top of them, but they're not really peeking each other, so they're kind of forced to look afar. Good news is, though, now 69 above, they got a bit of time to get some fresh air.
Yeah, but they've used everything. They've used everything, so the fighting for them isn't going to stop. They're barely above Storm Surge here in this zone. They have no resources. Yeah, they might have builds, but you can see they're even kind of chunked down already. One fight, one surprise attack. I feel like they will both go down. to check in on some of the other action that's going down around the map. You know how heated the day is getting, especially for what's up for grabs. Vico, Flixie, they take down Masia. But it's only going to be a knock, though, so at least the solo's still left alive to try to get as many points.
Speaking about solos, Swizzy's been knocked down. Vanya left alone with just 30 to 40 HP. So many duos surrounding him as well. Chaptini being one of them. They are going to choose to potentially rotate here, though. Still not in zone. Crash Pad's going to come through, but the shots are on them. They've got to hold the builds. They've got to make sure the eyes aren't on them, as a nice, clean rotate is coming through.
This is becoming a little bit of a scary situation. Vico and Flixie still up. First place by 50 points. Vanya is a solo. Nebs and Kaduo are gone. Janice is by himself. So a lot of the teams that are looking like contenders are kind of in shambles here in this game, except for maybe Chapatini, Ping, and Wox. So they're going to have to keep this one close if they want this FNCS to stay within grasp.
Just 15 below. One shot is all it's going to take, but surprise, right into the box, taking down Chaptini. Left alone. He does get that elimination, but is he going to be able to get his duo back?
Okay, so I didn't curse him, right? That does not count, because I was just talking about them being the only team, the only full team still left in the game that can kind of contest with this one. They're still on the low ground, staying alive. Yanis, but it does look like he has some active Storm Surge. Being a solo most of this game would tend to do that to you in a rough spot. That's Chaptini. They got a second chance here in this game. Still 172 above that Storm Surge threshold. Placement points are coming in as well. Everything's stacking up here in this game to become close.
Might have been cursed, but the good news is they're back in business now for Yanis. He's been playing it out as a solo for a significant amount of this match, now 12 below. He was able to get a decent amount of tags, but one more was all he needed. Unfortunately, he is going to be forced to kind of out-heal it here with the medkit and Flowberry.
I was saying, I was hoping he at least gets that shield up before it actually strikes down his HP, but it's still 57 below the threshold. You see he's hunting around, looking, but not necessarily jumping out in the open because he knows these opportunities will come as long as he's just patient. But a full metal box means he has to look elsewhere, and he spots out a team towards the high ground, trying to take advantage, but quickly notices there's so much going down on his layer, it's not going to be easy. He has to go ahead and reposition if he needs to find the shots that he wants.
He can't miss either. The issue is, too, if the zone pulls back south up this hill, it's going to be an incredibly difficult rotate for Yanis. In just a couple seconds here, we'll see where that moving zone pulls. It pulls northwest, so I don't believe it's going to pull over the mountain. It actually might just be pulling back, which is perfect for Yanis.
Yeah, maybe just a sliver on the mountain before it goes off. But you're talking about perfect for Yanis as a solo. Vico and Flixie are the ones everybody has to watch out for. About 40 points in this game so far, with almost double that still to come. Maybe even triple in some cases. Malibuca and Merstach really haven't seen them too much in this game, but as we do, they've elevated themselves on the high ground. They have the mythic hand cannon, and they have a rotation, which means they have multiple opportunities to do just that, especially here, flying through the sky, trying to make a little bit of a montage. Misses that shot, but he got what he was looking for. Elevated position.
Levin was talking about them not yet being in the running for that first place spot. They're just outside the top 10, but one big match can be all it takes to put them in top 5. As Yanis is still going strong as a solo, but now he desperately needs to do more damage.
Oh, Vico, Flixie, they just got taken down. A blessing for everybody that's in shambles as solos, including Yanis. Now it's time to try to close the gap. One elimination, scrounging for loot, but he's 225 below the damage threshold, which means he needs more than just a singular elimination. Even if he takes down Art Skill, it will still be below the damage threshold. He needs some shots on Shakos as well, but with the zone pushing in, he knows if as long as he pushes forward, stays above everybody else, those opportunities to land some surprise shots will come.
Storm Surge is active. He has no more minis, no more heals at all, so all that's left is for the Storm Surge to no longer be activated or to do enough damage. He's got a bit of time to breathe now, as Vidil's also been left as a solo, and Merstach and Malibuca are still holding strong above.
Even Queasy is starting to build that momentum. Again, another one of these end games by himself as a solo, as CZB gets beamed. Vidil unable to take advantage of that one because he knows he has to continue rotating, even though this doesn't necessarily drastically pull over a mountain, but you see a good portion of the zone is off the side of the mountain, making it unable to play.
They continue to tarp down. Malibuca Merstach claiming the height here, taking shots at all the players that are close down below. Not a single one in sight looking to contest them so far, but it's Teeny who's been left alone. He connects his shots, but he's only has 6 builds left, and he's gonna have to drop down soon.
Yeah, this is not a good, and it's not even a fun situation to be in, but he's trying to land some shots before the inevitable has to happen. But he looks up, Malibuca and Merstach still going on the high ground. Nobody really having a chance to contest them, but a sneak comes in. Teeny landing a good shot, but unable to get the elimination. He's out of mats and resources, so it's a vital must if he wants to survive.
Riding the wave of the storm right now. He cannot go ahead due to having 0 mats. He has to find an elimination here, but he gets spotted out from above. It was Malibuca and Merstach that are also getting contested. Merstach left up with just a sliver of HP, now forced to heal.
Not weak at all. Malibuca looking down, trying to put pressure, and he needs to because he can't have teams looking up. They are almost out of builds. A chop is going to come through unless they want to drop down. And the fact that he's not healing means Malibuca and Merstach do not have heal off. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to drop down and win by eliminations.
They have 0 materials as well, so 100% we're going to see from aggression from Mali Merstach. Easy, though, with 4 Elims. Akira with 3 is the duo that consistently is taking out Cammy and Seti, but they have yet to close out a big match. Can this be the one with Malibuca and Merstach applying pressure from above? It's going to be almost impossible. Elimination comes through, and now Kovac's in the zone trying to make it back.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. You see him kind of chopping pickaxe and trying to find the heals, and all he finds is Malibuca and Merstach, and they find a 9 elimination victory royale, 156 points. These 1.5 multipliers are going absolutely crazy today.
Look, I'm thinking about the quick maths. I can't do it in my head, but they're 11th place with 267 points going into this match. They're actually 15th place with 267 points. And now with that victory royale, I guarantee that they're back in the top 10. But you know Malibuca and Merstach, they want to continue climbing that leaderboard. They want to be in the top 5. And this is exactly what they had to do to continue on that route.
And you can kind of see, they just kind of knew. They knew as long as they didn't take any big shots, they had this one in the bag. And this is where it is beginning to heat up because now we are halfway through the game, Takada, with only 3 games left. It's all or nothing for either the win or that top 10 global championship spot.
I'm getting nervous, Jacob. I want to know what that leaderboard is going to look like, but there's still so much more excitement to be played out. We'll be right back, but don't go anywhere because we'll see you soon.